Hey folks, putting out a little warning out there to anybody who's had to take antibiotics for any reason. Of course, we all get the common cold. Sometimes we get worse infections than just the common cold, so we need to take an antibiotic. Well, years ago, I experienced a really bad reaction from, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce quinoline, loan. I can't even pronounce it. Anyway, it's stuff like Cipro, Levaquin, Avalox, and there's several other drugs in that group too. Um, the point I'm getting to is I had to take it for an infection I had years ago. After taking it, I have not been the same person whatsoever. Um, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks after starting to take it, it got to where I couldn't even add. I'd use calculator to add the simplest numbers, and from there I just got brain foggy and didn't feel right. I'm not even going to go into all the details as far as what happened. It's an antibiotic. What happened right away? I couldn't eat, didn't feel well. Didn't think much of it, but I just realized something wasn't right, so I decided to get off of it. And I decided to go the natural way, and my doctor was amazed at how quick I got over what I was suffering from. Um, anyway, long story short, it wasn't probably more than about 6 to 8 weeks after taking it. I just noticed I wasn't feeling right. Started having pain in my elbow, and then one day in the car, I realized I started having really bad panic attacks. Um, I mean, to the point where I felt like I was going to pass out, needed to pull over. And when you're in heavy traffic and stuff, and you're about to pass out, it's not a fun experience by any means. So then, shortly after that, started having like kind of mental breakdown feeling, um, achy muscles, painful joints, and my neck really started bothering me. And I mean, the list goes on and on. But anyway, these doctors are just, prescribing this stuff left and right. And I've had many discussions with these doctors, and they say, oh, it's safe, it's safe. And you know, then I've got online and started reading about this. Well, it turns out there's lawsuits over these types of drugs, these types of antibiotics. And no matter how many lawsuits, that are going on and how many people are complaining about what's going on, the doctors continue to prescribe the stuff. I've had probably 3 or 4 discussions now. Well, just recently, my girlfriend was in the hospital, and I started talking to a nurse about it. She said, oh, that's just some Facebook group. And I said, no, ma'am, it's, actually there's a lawsuit out and there's a lot of people getting sick from it. And she just said, oh, that's not true. Well, my other doctor said, oh, well, we have to prescribe it. It's one of the better antibiotics that we can give out. And I tried to tell her my concerns. She didn't seem to care. Then my other family doctor that I changed to because I didn't like that lady because I thought she was full of it. Um, excuse me. He just didn't believe me either. He just straight up didn't believe me, and I'm sitting here just going, haven't you read the news lately? Haven't you, gotten anything in the mail over there is lawsuits and to really watch out on giving this stuff out? I mean, the Cipro is the stuff they gave out at 9/11 when they started sending anthrax to, oh, his name escapes me right now. Uh, Tom Daschle. He got something in the mail and supposedly had anthrax to it. And let me get back on here. And anyway, so they were giving him Cipro. And back then, they were talking about that it was a very serious drug and you should only take it if you absolutely have to. Well, now these people are giving this stuff left and right. I mean, they have no sense of what's really going on. If they're getting kickbacks from drug companies or something, which I'm not surprised, but why would they continue to give this out? Just recently, I was speaking to a friend of mine who, his girlfriend, or well, excuse me, his wife had to have some operations on her female parts, a lot of them. Well, they gave her antibiotics left and right, left and right. And I just spoke to him after, oh God, I think it was 6 months later, 8 months later after she had the operation. And I spoke to him, and he said that she's from South America. So she said she's been having a, excuse me, really bad tendonitis problems. She's got really bad anxiety. She doesn't want to go driving in the car anymore. She doesn't. She just doesn't feel well. Doesn't want to go to work. Doesn't want to do anything. So, being from South America, she decided to go back down to her doctor, which that's a story in itself. Anyway, American doctors really didn't see what her female problems were until she got to South America, and her doctor there pulled out a lot more than what they said she had. And not only that, he did it for a fraction of the price, and they have really good insurance, by the way. So he was telling me all her issues and that she's down getting treatment for this. Well, I started to tell him about what's going on here, and he kind of shook his head and was kind of like wondering what was going on. So I don't know if he's going to look into it or not. I'm going to continue to push the subject with him, so they can kind of explore their options. And unfortunately, once you take this drug, it does so much neurological damage that you really don't have any options afterwards. There's a lot of people suffering for it. So basically, I wanted to get on here and promote this group here. Um, it's a really good group. There's a lot of people suffering. As you can see right here, there's 5,612 people who are members to this. Lots of discussion going on. A lot of people tell you, what's going on with them and how it's ruined their lives. And I guess from reading on here, I that's pretty bad years. It was 2003 that I took it, and I honestly I don't know if I'm back to normal or whatever, but I do feel a heck of a lot better. But let's face it, folks, that was 13 years ago, and I'd say I didn't start feeling good until probably maybe 3 years ago. So for about 10 years, I had just serious issues, and to this day, I still have issues that I know are related to this. Um, but you really have to watch out what the doctors are giving you. Do your own research on this. Look up Cipro, Avalox, Levaquin, and there's several others out there. It's horrible stuff, really horrible stuff. And I did find out my girlfriend had taken it when she was in the hospital at one point a while back. And for someone who never had anxiety problems, well, she's got a lot of them. Now. I mean, she used to be pretty cool about driving because she'd have to drive for me all the time. It got so bad, I could not drive, and it was embarrassing. The old song, I'm half the man I used to be." That's kind of the way I felt over time because you know to not be able to get up and drive yourself someplace, to have complete and crazy anxiety attacks. And I used to love to drive. I actually used to have to drive from one place to the next. I mean, I did house calls. It's a long story, but basically, I was all over, driving everywhere. Loved to drive. Was totally into cars, totally into driving, totally into looking, at different kinds of cars and, just dreaming about driving them. And now the thought of, well, I came back from Florida one time and I went over the bridge in Baton Rouge, of all places, where the cops just got killed. That guy was a jackass shooting those cops, but not all cops are bad. But I'm not going to get off on that subject. Um, but the whole point was, I literally had to close my eyes. I shook like a leaf going over this bridge, and I used to dig going over bridges and just driving and having fun and enjoying myself. And life's gotten horrible. I mean, it has improved. Um, One of the medications that I found worked best for me is actually Xanax. I take a low dosage. By no means am I addicted to the stuff, but I take a low dosage, and for the first time in my life, I'm able to, get up and at least drive locally and not have issues. But man, this stuff's bad news. If you've taken it and are experiencing problems, or if a doctor tries to give it to you, don't take it. do the best you can to try and get over it. I mean, I understand if it's a life-threatening situation, you have to take it. But if at all possible, don't take it. This stuff is poison. Um, you can look it up. You can look at the lawsuits. You can look at this page here, which I suggest if you've had issues or if the doctor's given you that prescription, please go to this site and check it out. It's on Facebook. You can see the name of it. I'm not even going to try and, you know, say the name. It's just anyway. They people are calling it floxing. Have you been floxed? Well, if you've been floxed, you've been effed. Pretty much is what it comes down to. So anyway, just a word of warning to the people of the world: don't take this stuff. It's dangerous stuff. And go to this page, check it out. I think you'll find it quite interesting. Anyway, have a nice day. And if you've taken this and you're experiencing these issues, I feel bad for you. Just hang in there, do your best, and you can get more information on it once you get into the page. So, anyway, you guys have a great day and good luck.